Hey everyone, I'm grateful as usual to have you guys tuning in for today's message. And today I want to talk about something that is constantly being brought up in my world with all of the different people that I get to communicate with on a personal level, on a professional level, and all around, again, this topic around relationships. And in particular, I've been going through an amazing book that I just finished today that I mentioned for you guys a few days ago, and basically it is by Polly Young Eisendrath, and the book is called Love Between Equals, and it's about using relationship as a spiritual path, meaning to create more meaning and fulfillment and growth towards your potential in that realm. So I'm looking forward to diving into this one with you guys today. So as usual, I want you guys to play along at home. I'm going to be mentioning that I've got in the title actually today 3 key words that just are a no-go for me when it comes to relationship, and I'm going to explain why. And they tend to be words that are totally in association with our concept of intimate relationship. And I just want to smash this to death, right? I cannot stand this old paradigm of looking at our relationships. I feel like it costs us so much. And I want to share with you what we can replace that old paradigm with. And yeah, just kind of my perspective. I hope that it resonates with you guys. I hope that it will be of value to you all. And as usual, I'd love for you guys to drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And also if you have any questions or comments or just words of wisdom that you want to contribute to this conversation. You guys know I absolutely love it when you get involved and help to co-create this space together on these meaningful topics. So hope that this one will definitely resonate with you guys. All right, just about ready. Cool. So today's topic is exiting the old unfulfilling paradigm of relationship by replacing, these are the 3 key words, right? Obligation, compromise, and expectations. My 3 most hated words when it comes to intimate relationship, and I'm going to unpack why. So I speak to a ton of different people each and every day on the topic of relationships in particular, right? So I get a lot of people coming to me for this, navigating this realm in particular. And when I ask people, why are they in the relationship that they're in? Or what are they looking for in a relationship? Or what are their challenges in relationship? Or however they kind of describe the realm of relationship before we've worked together, I always hear these key words come up, right? And it's kind of like we've got this old paradigm of what we believe intimate relationship is kind of all about. And these 3 words come up time and time again, right? And so basically, I'm going to unpack and tell you what these kind of how we swap these. But basically, it kind of our old paradigm kind of comes from this, to death do we part, right? Like that part of our vows of, committing ourselves to a relationship, right? And so where people do this wrong, and what I'm seeing and experiencing, in my life, is that people commit and get obligated to a relationship, right? About to death do you part, no matter how unhealthy, no matter how much it's soul sucking and draining, no matter how abusive, no matter how it doesn't free you to be all of who you are, no matter how self-degrading or depriving it is, no matter how much you can't be yourself in it, right? And we've got it all wrong, right? Like this sense of obligation to the commitment of relationship, no matter how unhealthy it is, right? And what we need to do is look at this a very, very different way. And I'd love to hear your perspective on this as well. Because I don't know about you, but when I look at the majority of common relationships in this world, there's only a select handful that I could name right now, that I feel inspired by, that I feel actually role model what's possible in this realm. And there's a ton of different relationships that we're always surrounded by that just simply, they're not our highest potential in life, right? And we don't want to actually just settle for that old paradigm. And I'm going to talk at the end of today's session about the new paradigm that I feel is here, but with a select few people right now, but I see it is the way forward, and it's the freedom that we all seek in this realm of intimate relationship and using it for our own growth and enhancing each other's lives, all right? So I'm going to get into that at the end, but let's first start with these 3 key words that are my most disliked words in relationship. And I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to go, what can I replace this with? And see if this will fit you as it would fit me perfectly. All right. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is obligation, right? This is the old paradigm. An obligation to remain in however the relationship is, right? However unhealthy it is. We obligate ourselves to a relationship through sickness and in health, right? Is the way we talk about it. And to death do we part. And they're beautiful concepts, but just make sure that you're using them in a really healthy way. We do not want to obligate ourselves to a connection with a person that we're not growing, we're not expanding, we're not striving to constantly be our best selves, our most fulfilled selves, right? Instead, what most people do is they obligate themselves to a commitment to stay in the relationship no matter what, no matter how unhealthy it might be, and they let themselves fall to the wayside, right? They're no longer looking after themselves. They're not taking responsibility for their own fulfillment, for their own, growth in life. And instead, they're obligating themselves to a relationship, right? Where they just think, well, we've committed here, so no matter what, you have to stay with me, and no matter what, I'm staying with you, which there's an element of beauty to that, right? And personally, I feel like that level of commitment is actually the foundation and container of what can hold us. But don't get obligated to an unhealthy dynamic. And instead, what we want to do is we want to swap the word obligation for choice to stay at a high standard within ourselves and hold the relationship dynamic to a high standard. And when I'm talking about high standard, I'm talking about a standard of relationship dynamic in which both of your lives are well and truly enhanced, and that you and your partner get to be the full expression of who you are, to continue to grow and evolve and expand and, live into your most authentically inspired visions, right? You give each other that freedom of choice to have that. And, you hold each other to a high standard of the dynamic, right? You can't be obligated to something that's unhealthy. You can make a choice and a commitment to be in something that's truly healthy and satisfying. All right, but don't fall into the old paradigm of relationship where we obligate ourselves to unhealthy dynamics and we don't take any responsibility to set a higher standard for ourselves first and foremost, and for the relationship dynamic that we're co-creating. All right, that's the first swap that personally the word obligation is a no-no in my mind. A choice and a commitment to a high standard for myself and for the relationship dynamic that I'm co-creating, that's what I'm focused on, right? And that is leading us towards the new paradigm of relationship that I'll unpack a little bit more shortly, right? That's the first one. The second swap that I personally feel is a must in order to shift from old unfulfilling to new totally fulfilling in the realm of intimate relationship is compromise. Oh, I can't stand that word. Every time I hear it, I'm like, no, it's so, the first thing that comes to my mind is just how unintelligent it is, right? How unnecessarily sacrificing it is. And I'm going to unpack why, right? So most people, this is just a general rule. Oh, relationships are all about compromise. I call absolute BS in this realm, because I like to think that there is a much more intelligent way of finding integration between two different individuals. It's not that, well, I have to compromise on this for my partner because, that's just what relationships do. So I'm going to, sacrifice my need or my value so that they can have their need or their value met, right? And that's what we think of compromise in the old paradigm of relationship. That ain't fulfilling, right? Whenever you feel like you have to sacrifice something that is meaningful for you, all that does is lead to resentment. And resentment is the silent killer of intimacy and connection, right? We don't want any part of that. The new paradigm of relationship is not about me against you. The new paradigm of relationship is the third entity that we're co-creating, and what is best for that third entity, right? It's not about me having to compromise for you or you having to compromise for me. It's how can we be intelligent about this? How can we use our own self-awareness of what we value and what we need as individuals, and then put that together, right? Like, say I have my highest values, you have your highest values, and we put those two side by side, and we've done the work personally to know that what this hierarchy is for us is something that is totally authentically inspired, what really means the most to us as individuals, right? And then we can put those two side by side, and they do not have to be the same, right? What we then do is what Dr. John Demartini so wisely has, shared with us all in the world, and he does such brilliant work, right? And this is one of the keys that I've taken from his work, which is look at your values, look at your partner's values, and then be intelligent about how does me, living into my highest value actually support you to live in your highest value, right? So for instance, say my highest value is for self-actualization, right? I want to make sure that I am growing and reaching my potential in all areas of my life. And say my partner's highest value is, what could we call it? Let's say meaningful contribution, right, is their highest value, right? And so what we would then do is go, how does me, reaching my highest potential in all areas of my life help you to more meaningfully contribute in your life, right? And so basically then we could be like, wow, that's so clear, right? Because if I am striving to constantly be my highest best self in our relationship, and we know that intimate relationship is the fuel source for all other areas of our lives, then of course that's going to mean that I'm fueling you in your desire to meaningfully contribute in the world. And you meaningfully contributing in the world gives you a sense of purpose in your life, of satisfaction, of higher levels of self-esteem and confidence. And that actually gives me more freedom to put some focus towards growing myself, right? So we're enhancing each other's lives by intelligently seeing how, it doesn't have to be the one or the other. There's an intelligent integration of what is most meaningful to both of us, so we do not need to compromise, which leads to sacrifice, which leads to resentment, the silent killer of connection. All right, so that's the second word I just want to remove from our vocabularies in the realm of relationship, if I could have it all my way, right? And then the third one that I want to mention to you guys today is expectation. So recently I had somebody in my life ask me, what are your expectations in relationship? And I was like, I was just like, I felt like I was being strangled for a moment, right? And I was like, no. And we know from the work of Tony Robbins, I know a bunch of you guys are all into the work of Tony Robbins. So you would know one of his famous quotes is, the moment that you swap your expectations for appreciation is the moment your whole world changes. Now, let me get this clear. Think about it this way. Think about it. The easiest way is to look at when you are in a job, right? And you have a boss. Now, if your boss expects you to do certain things, right? Then if you do it, there's no appreciation, right? There's just, well, of course you should have done that. It's an expected requirement of your role, right? What are you trying to get accolades for, right? But at the end of the day, what happens is we as human beings, we're motivated and inspired by reward, right? By pleasure. And so if we have a relationship where our partner just expects us to be a certain way, do a certain thing, but they never show any appreciation, how motivated are we to do those things, right? We're just simply not. But if you compare and contrast that to when somebody openly shares with you something that would be meaningful for them, right? It's a kind of a solution as to how you can be even more connected with one another. And then you go ahead and do that thing, and then they appreciate that from you and can share with you what a positive impact you can have on their lives. You're automatically inspired to go above and beyond for that person, right? That's how we're wired. So instead of having this list of unspoken expectations that a lot of us do in relationship, and I hate to say it, it's usually us beautiful women who have a lot of expectations, right? And this unspoken stuff where we think they should just know it, right? They should be just doing that thing, of course, right? If they cared about us, they'd just know it and they'd do it, right? And so we miss the whole beauty of relationship in the realm of our differences. We don't all think the same. Nobody is a mind reader, right? We have to educate each other on who we are, on what we value, on what's meaningful to us. Give each other the solutions, not expect them to be mind readers, expect them to do all these things and then make poor meanings and judgments if they don't do those things. Or if they do those things, we don't even appreciate them because they should have done that anyway. Right? We want to be really intelligent about the success of that relationship dynamic that we're co-creating. And we want to utilize our ability to be open and communicate openly and to know ourselves well enough to know what would be helpful, right? And then to express that with openness and a generosity and a kindness and hey, we're on this team together and I've got this way that I know could really enhance our connection. Would you be open to it? Because I'm on your team and I see that our relationship could be even better if we were doing these things, right? And then appreciating each other for following through on that effort, right? So that you guys feel like you're seriously on a team, like you are co-creating something incredible together, right? It's not me against you and you didn't do that thing that I was projecting in my mind that you should have known about. And now even if you do it, I'm not going to appreciate it. Oh my gosh, like that is such a killer of connection. And in actual fact, I think that is one of the biggest killers of intimacy and attraction. When we don't feel appreciated by our partner, when we don't feel seen, when we don't feel like we can have a positive impact. All right, so just think about this, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I've given a lot of my time, energy, and effort towards this, to these particular realms of relationship through my own experience of the pain, right, and of the pleasure of making those shifts as well. But I think that they're just so key, and it's been re-sparked for me by going through Polly Young Eisendrath's book, Love Between Equals, again, because she's just brought it back to my awareness about the old paradigm of relationship, and what's possible in a new realm of relationship. And basically, I want to, leave you with this idea of what the new paradigm of relationship could potentially be. All right, so I see, the new paradigm of relationship being one where we're awakening, right? Where we're not just going through the old obligated motions, the old series of compromises at the expense of what's true or healthy for us, the old expectations, no appreciations. And basically, it is what Polly would talk about in her book, love between equals. Right? It's one in which our intimate relationship, becomes that greatest fuel source. Like we totally know that together in what we're co-creating in an intelligent way, with heart-centered way, will fuel us so much more at such a higher level than we could ever hope to have just by ourselves, right? If you're in the wrong kind of relationship, it will be the biggest drain to you in all other areas of life. But if you know that if you have the right quality of relationship and you have the right higher standards with a partner who meets you on that same playing field with a total commitment to enhancing each other's lives through the freedom to be all of who we are, to follow our authentic inspirations and to support and encourage and challenge each other to reach those highest levels of our potential, then basically your intimate relationship becomes your greatest fuel source, where it will propel you forward in all other areas of life well beyond what you could achieve by yourself, right? If you have that kind of mindset for what you want your intimate relationship to be like, think about how far you could go in life. Think about how different your life could be, because in the wrong quality of relationship, a lot of those old paradigm relationships, they cost us our self-esteem, our self-respect, our self-honor. We start to just be, in the words of Polly, in her book, intimate enemies, right? Where like the person you're supposed to love the most becomes the person you hate, right? And feel so limited and trapped by, right? That is not the purpose, right? We're supposed to wake up to those moments of disillusionment and to turn it back and go, okay, like how can I get even more real about myself, about this person that I've chosen to be in relationship with? And how can we use all that we experience as a pathway for growth and fulfillment and expansion and moving towards, true love, not just this, this kind of perception of love, but it's just fluctuating from love, hate, right? It's just the roller coaster of emotions. And thinking about the new paradigm of relationship as this third entity that you're co-creating. It's not about them being committed to you or you being committed to them. You're both committed to the co-creation of something extraordinary and unique that wouldn't even exist had the two of you not come together. All right, that is how you have a level of trust, because you're both working towards a common goal. It's not you against them, right? In that love-hate relationship, right? That this is huge for a shift in intimate relationship. And then finally, using your relationship as a pathway of spiritual growth, right? So growth, expansion, meaning, fulfillment, and of course, true love, right? And I know that sounds all woo-woo and wishy-washy, but I'm telling you, I'm at a place in my life right now where I feel so clear on this, like the clearest I've ever been. And it's so empowering. I just know it, right? Without even fully experiencing, I'm on the path of that right now, right? And so I want to highly recommend Polly Young Eisendrath's book, Love Between Equals, Relationship as a Spiritual Path. It's such a good book. It just puts language to a lot of great stuff. And I hope that what I've shared with you today, you can add to your vision of relationship. Like, what do you want? Don't get sucked into the old paradigm of unfulfilling connection, for the sake of connection and obligation to things that are unhealthy, and instead set a new standard for relationship, right? One in which you are, propelled forward far beyond what you could alone. All right, that is what we want to look at. So hope that this message is of value to you guys, and I'd love for you to share it with anybody that you feel could find value in it, because I personally feel like it is a really valuable focus for each and every one of us to have, and I definitely want to check in with you guys. So make sure you're dropping me some comments or some questions or some words of wisdom or any contributions that you'd love to make to today's conversation. I'd love to check in with you guys, but let me see who's here. Looks like okay. I've got Indy, much love to you, and Alexandria, hi V, love to you from Charles and me. So good to see you guys, my beautiful couple. You guys so represent a beautiful love dynamic that I'm so appreciative of and so grateful to have you in the Limitless Potential Academy for all of us to bask in what it is to have a high quality, intimate relationship. So love you guys. And Pizzada, absolutely. Oh, thank you. And doing great work. Thank you. I appreciate you. Beautiful inside and out. I'm also a motivational speaker, teacher, trainer. Keep in touch. Thank you so much, Pizzada. Cool name. I hope I'm saying it right. But so great to have you. And I'm grateful that this message is resonating with you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I love the path that you're on. That's awesome. And Julie's here as well. And Marvin, I'm loving that something was a bingo for you today. That's awesome. And Indy, you're so welcome. Loving that this is so true. And Indy, equal love, equal support, encouragement, commitment, loyalty, and unity. Exactly. I agree with you 100% and support each other. So beautifully put, Indy. Absolutely. And so good. And Sylvina, maybe astrology combined with spiritual psychology could help self-awareness in such cases. Yeah, you know what? I'm a big believer in whatever works for you, right? You know, we don't need to say that there is a right way or a wrong way for everything. There's plenty of people who love astrology. There's plenty of people who love psychology. I love that you're combining the two together there. There's plenty of people who look to religion, whatever their religion is, as, giving them more self-awareness. There's plenty of people who do a bunch of different things. And I'm a big believer in doing whatever works for you. And if something works for somebody, good on them, right? They've found and discovered something that's really going to solidify for them. So yeah, I'm a big believer also in studying it all. I don't think that we should have an opinion on anything unless we've experienced it, right? And so I love diving into anything, right? I've had some, at the beginning of the year, I had some Jyotish astrology done with a coach of mine, and it was fascinating. And I don't know fully if it's true or not, right? But like, I can utilize it as something to push against and go, what's the element of truth? Or how could this, different awareness or knowledge help me to become more self-aware about what I feel is right for me, or so forth. And you guys know I work with personality psychology in particular a lot, right? And I've had so much value in my own life just by knowing those sort of frameworks, and I use them every day. I can't get away from them, right? So much there. I appreciate you bringing that to the conversation, Sylvina. Good to have you. And I really like that name too. Nice. And Jose, hi Vanessa, thank you for sharing this message. How can I know if I'm ready to start or have a relationship rather than to fall in the trap of trying to fill a void, trying to get with the intention to hit an internal emotion? Boom, Jose, what a brilliant question. One in which I have definitely battled myself, and I've had to go through the experiences to learn what the answer is. And I'll tell you this much from my own experience, and I'm not sure if, we can just tell each other this stuff without having to personally experience it to really know it. But basically, for me, it's been a difference between confusion and internal conviction. And I've really only got there right now. And, I like to think that there's no perfect time for relationship. And even the relationships that I've entered into when maybe you could say I wasn't quite ready or whatever, they've been exactly what I've needed at those times, right? And I wouldn't have had the growth that I had if I stayed out of relationship because I thought I wasn't ready. So I don't really look at it like there's a time when you're particularly ready. It just means like if you get into a relationship, you got to be willing to maximally grow, right? And so if you're always going to attract a partner who is your reciprocal. So if you have got a lot of healing work to do, you're going to attract a partner who's got a lot of healing work to do. So you've just got to know that, and you've just got to enter into a relationship with a commitment to grow together, right? And an acknowledgement that there's going to be challenges, there's going to be disillusionment, there's going to be all of it. So would you rather do it with a partner or would you rather do it by yourself? And, if you're with a partner, you're going to accelerate your growth if you are committed to growth. The opposite is true if you're not committed to growth and you're just trying to handball the responsibility of your fulfillment to somebody else who's another imperfect human being, just trying to get through their stuff, right? And they're also trying to handball the responsibility of their fulfillment to you, and you're just trying to get yourself together, right? That's what most relationships are like. And if you don't have a commitment to growth, then it could take you away and stunt your personal growth, right? Because you'll get distracted by judging the other person for not making you feel the way that you want to feel in this world, right? So you've got to be able to be honest about that. And I would say to you, the clearer you can get on the quality of relationship dynamic that you would love to co-create with someone that is in total alignment with your highest values and your greatest strengths and what inspires you from an authentic place, that's the stuff you need to get clear on, because then you're going to have the greatest filter for the people around you, right? And then you're going to know, are they in alignment with what you want to co-create or not? Don't fall into the trap that most people do. Most people are looking for a person, right? An archetypal person, an avatar, right? That they want in relationship. They want someone who's this tall, who has this much money, who's this attractive, who, is this thing, right? Who they want to have kids with or whatever, right? That is so surface level, right? Of course, something like having children could be a deal breaker, right? If you're in relationship with somebody who doesn't want kids and that's a must for you, that's going to be a deal breaker, right? So there's that element of it. But instead of looking at who that person needs to be, I would suggest this: to create the idea and the vision for the dynamic that you are going to co-create with that person, right? What does it look like for you guys to be a team? How do you handle conflict? How do you support and encourage each other to reach your highest potentials? All of that beautiful stuff, right? That is what is ultimately important. And if the more clear you get on that, the more confident you're going to be about entering a new relationship, because you're going to know whether or not you're selecting somebody who's in alignment with that. So hope that helps, Jose. So appreciate your question, and good luck, and reach out anytime if I can support you. And to Pazvi, I'm so grateful that this was of value to you. And Marvin, you're liking my outfit. Thank you so much. I'm into the pastels at the moment, so appreciate it. And much love to you, Indy. And Sylvina, faith helps a lot. Absolutely. But you got to have faith within yourself. All right, so many of us are like looking for the right person to have in our lives that we can trust fully. But the problem is, what people miss is that it's really stemming from your ability to trust yourself, because you can't control anybody else. And a lot of people are holding themselves back and not having trust or faith in a partner or in a relationship, not because they can't trust that partner or the relationship, but really because they do not trust themselves to be able to handle if their trust is broken or, their faith is broken in some way from an external source. So generating that faith from within, to know that you have the ability to always figure things out, to deal with any challenge that comes your way. And if you have a growth mindset, you'll expect challenge. It's inevitable, right? And you'll see it as the necessary stepping stones along your journey to help you to reach your highest potential. You won't grow if you don't have challenge, right? And so I really, really love what you're bringing in that conversation regarding faith as well there, Sylvina. Thank you so much. And Kara's here as well. Good to see you. And Sylvina, astrology plus spiritual psychology plus artificial intelligence. Okay, it's just an idea for the future. Boom. I love it. I feel like we could have a deep dive on that. That sounds really cool. Exactly. Who knows what is possible? But a big key to moving towards everything that could be possible for our futures in this realm is to ultimately be done with the old paradigm. Realize there is a whole new way, and we're the ones, to tread a new path. All right. So have that perspective. I personally think how beautiful that is, how exciting and inspiring that is, to not have to go down the same old pathway and to actually create and tread a new path that's totally fulfilling. All right, and that's what I feel like is called for. So love that. And DB, good to see you as always as well. And Indy, absolutely true. Grateful to hear that and resonating. So that's my message for you guys today. Remember, what we want to do is exit out of the old paradigm of intimate relationship. We want to replace obligation with a choice to commit to a higher standard. We want to replace compromise, right, with being intelligently integrative with our values. How my values and me living in everything that's most inspiring and empowering for me actually supports you to do the same for yourself, right? No need for compromise. We're replacing that one, right? And lastly, swapping expectation for appreciation. No more expecting your partner to be a mind reader and then never appreciating anything that they do. It's about open communication, self-awareness about what matters, and giving them the solution, the opportunity to enhance your connection and appreciating them for all of that. It's going to excel you guys forward towards something that's much more beautiful than the me against you kind of old paradigm. All right. I hope that this message has served each and every one of you guys, and I want to appreciate each and every one of you for showing up today and co-creating this space and contributing to the conversation with your intelligent comments and everything that you share with such wisdom. Oh, awesome. And Data's in the house. This is the way of the brighter future of humanity. I love it. I'm grateful to be on that path with you. So that's my message. Thanks again to all of you. Please do share this message. And if you would like me to help you in any way to just break through whatever you're currently challenged with, just a reminder, I do offer these free 15-minute power sessions where I get to meet you and connect with you and dive into your world and see how I could best support you in shifting your perspective, giving you some action steps and getting you moving and unstuck in whatever realm that is for you currently. So I'll drop my link for my calendar and hope to get to meet you. But that's it from me. So you guys know what I'm going to say, like I do every single day, is to go out there and live authentically, love deeply, leave behind the old paradigm, shift it into the new, and contribute meaningfully and purposefully. Make your life matter, make your heartbeats count. All right, that's my message. Thanks again to all of you guys, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, exciting stuff. I'm going to be interviewing Eric Thor. Now, a bunch of you might not know him. He is a genius in the realm of personality psychology, somebody who I have learned a lot from over the years. He has an amazing YouTube channel, and I'm super excited that I'm going to introduce you guys to him tomorrow, 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. He's in Amsterdam, so it's going to be 8 a.m. for him. So I think a bunch of you guys in the States, it might be like a terrible time for you guys, but there will be a recording if you can't join us live, and I'm very excited to dive into his wisdom with you guys and introduce you guys more to the realm of personality psychology and how powerful it is for helping you to reach your highest potential. All right, and Jay Castillo, I love your positivity. Thank you so much, my friend. Grateful to have you here, and you're so welcome. Indy and DB, you are so welcome as well. Great information as always. Glad to hear that, and God bless Mia. Thank you so much, Jay Castillo. Great to have each and every one of you guys here, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love.